All right, believe it or not, we are getting ready to plant some corn. This is pretty early for us, but man, the weather has been so nice. So we thought we're gonna get the planter ready. We're gonna get some seed in the ground. We got a little bit of work to do on the planter. I finally decided we're gonna fix these dumb markers this year. I don't know if you remember last year, but the markers are always breaking. But the bummer about these markers is that they stick up so high and they stick out so far that you can't plant up against, you know, a fence row, or if there's trees, it's a real mess. So I finally fixed it. I don't know if you can see in the background, but I got these markers to lay in a little further. So we got longer cylinders, and we changed the mounts and the stops a little bit. So when the markers go up, they can lay in a little further, which gets the top away from the trees, and it gets this bottom in about 2 feet from where we were. So that's awesome. Hopefully we can stay out of the trees, stay off the telephone poles this year. So I'm excited about that. I'm getting the meters put in right now. So we had all the meters out because we planted beans with this planter in the fall or in the summer. But we planted beans last with this planter. So we're switching to the corn meters right now, and we're gonna get them all set up. I'm hoping that maybe we can even get some seed in the ground today. So it's really nice out, and looks like rain tomorrow. So I thought maybe we'll get started a while, see how it goes. So we got the McCormick hooked up to the planter. It's the first time also. Got all the controls set up in that. So excited to try that thing out, see how that does with the planter. And yeah, we'll get going. So let's get the rest of these meters put in. New hopper that we got last year. Last year we ran the planter into some rocks and it destroyed this row unit, so it even broke the hopper, so we had to get a new one. So when I say meters, this is the meter of the corn planter. This is the unit that picks up each individual seed and drops it down the tube, and then the tube goes right down to where the rest of the row unit is opening up the dirt, and it drops it in there in a very, very precise way. That's the one thing about a corn planter, is that the precision in planting is very high. So we talk about singulation, and singulation means the accuracy with which you're placing the seed in the ground. So it monitors for skips and for doubles. So a skip it should be placing a seed at a set distance in the row all the way down through the field. And if it drops 2 by accident, that's a double. If it misses 1, it's a skip. So our monitor helps us to see that. But this is the unit that the seed in the hopper flows into the back side of this thing here. So there's a little pile of seed that's in there, and then there's little fingers that grab a hold of each seed and place it into this wheel, and the wheel takes it around and dumps it out. So and it's dropping it at a very precise timing to get the spacing and the population that we want. Population means how many corn stalks per space, per acre, per row, per whatever. So anyway, that's the meter. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about putting the meters in. All right, so it's the next day. We got to start planting a little bit yesterday. I had to run out and load some cattle, so Casey filled the planter and we got started. We made a round or so, and then the drive chain broke, so I had to run for parts to get that going, and then basically just got the headlands planted on this field. But now I think we're ready to start into the main part of the field. So I got to put some nitrogen stabilizer here yet in the nitrogen tanks, and then we'll get going. So our planter has a liquid fertilizer system on it. So these big tanks on the planter hold liquid nitrogen, and the nitrogen is metered out to each row through these little tubes. So as we're planting, there's a little bit of flow of fertilizer that comes out at each row, and yeah, there for the plant to utilize as it's coming up. That nitrogen stabilizer product that we put in there is to help keep the nitrogen in place so that it's ready to use by the plant. But otherwise, it's just plain liquid nitrogen in there. So far, everything's going really great. We're in the McCormick for the first time, planting this year, which has been awesome. This turns a little bit sharper, and so that's pretty nice for getting spun around at the ends. I got all of our stuff mounted in here. This is the control box that controls the hydraulics on the planter, and this is the monitor that lets me know if the seed is going in the ground correctly. So we got that all put in here, and yeah, everything's going really good. The new marker setup is working out awesome. We planted along the fence line up there and didn't have any trouble with getting in the trees, so that was perfect. It used to be such a frustrating thing before. Because there's like a little sinkhole there I don't want to hit. Anyway, it was always frustrating planting along the trees or along a fence or telephone pole line because those dumb markers stuck out so far. So I think we got her all fixed up now. The monitor beeps whenever it's not putting the seed in the ground correctly, but whenever we start and stop, the planter stops putting seed in the ground, so it thinks that there's a little bit of a problem momentarily, but otherwise looks like we're running pretty good. Running over 99% singulation, which is good. This planter is not new and not like as precise as they can get, but it does a pretty good job for what we want to do, and it's the one we have, so we work with what we got. So
we fix them and then they break again. But this year, we're so excited because they aren't broken. They're working fine so far. So that's good news.
Get done here, but looks like we just are getting pretty low in seed here. Only a little bit left. That one has some more. Not too much there, so. All right, I guess I'll walk back and get some more seed. See if we can get this finished up. Okay, we moved some seed around. The hoppers weren't all equal, so I moved some seed around to try to level it out so we can finish out this variety before we go to another one, because we don't have any more of this variety. So I think this will work out. I'm anxious to see how far we get here, but we have another bag here of some other stuff we can put in if we need some more. So we have about 5 acres to go, and our marker saga continues. It looks like we've bent those cylinders, the brand new cylinders that we just put on. Apparently I didn't account for the bouncing, I think is what the problem was. So they worked fine when you ran them up and down sitting flat, but when you are in the field and the markers are like bouncing around, it must over travel it a little bit more than we had planned, and it bent the cylinders. So now they were still working, but just now the one stopped working completely. So we're just gonna finish up this field by going round and round in the same direction so we can use the one marker, and we'll have to go back to the drawing board, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what to do to fix it, but I gotta get it fixed. But hopefully we can get this field finished up, because the rain is coming. We have, I don't know, maybe an hour or so before the rain here, so I think we should be fine. We can get this field finished up, and then we'll have some time to go figure this marker thing out. All right, we got her all finished up. We got the planter back in the shed, tractor put away, and it looks like we're about to get a storm. It's getting pretty black back there, so Looks like we got her in the ground just in time. Get a little bit of rain on top, pop that corn out of the ground.